art? Like, when did you kind of realize, like, yo, art's my thing?
I've probably been drawing since I was little, like really young, like 6 years old maybe. But I didn't really know I was going to be an artist until probably halfway through high school.
Oh wow.
I really wanted to do art for video games and movies. And that was always what pulled me into those worlds, was the artwork. So I wanted to be that guy who did that art.
Guy.
Yeah.
But that's not what you ended up doing. So why? Like, what brought you to this type of art that you do?
Just happenstance. Honestly, yeah, it just kind of went like that. When I did my first mural in the Arts District, that was crowdfunded. I never saw myself doing large-scale work until I did it, and then started getting requested to do it more often. And so that it just became like something that I started doing.
So how do you go about planning for these large-scale works? Does it start with a small sketch that you enlarge, or how does that process work?
Usually it starts off with a small sketch, and what I'll do is I'll take the sketch and then I'll upload it onto my laptop, and then I'll plug my laptop into an LED projector, and then I'll project the design once I have it all figured out, project the design onto the wall straight from my laptop, and then just go from there.
These are the secrets, you guys. These are the industry secrets.
You could also do a grid, but grids are time consuming.
Yeah, okay.
They're mathematically precise, but they take a long time.
Very cool. So where do you get jobs? Where do you find opportunities to do these art pieces? And how do you choose which ones you actually want to do?
A lot of restaurants are good, and that's for mural work. A lot of the other stuff that I do is digital work for various clients, just in a freelance capacity. And those are logos and album covers and book covers and t-shirt designs, and you know, I would say that those are the things that I sell the most. And for a while, I wasn't turning a job down.
Yeah.
You know, as a
broke artist can't complain.
Yeah. So you take what you can get. You just do what you got to do. You know, sometimes you might get a design that's not that interesting, but you do it because ultimately in your mind as the artist, you're like, oh, I'm getting paid to do artwork. I made it. You know.
I love the way that you describe collaborating with the owners.
It is
really cool just to picture that back and forth.
And also, you know, a lot of the pieces that I do, mural-wise, are in places that are being built or places that are not open yet. So I spend a lot of time while I'm painting, talking with the owners as they're doing their thing, and I'm painting and I'm doing my thing, and we have like this cool like banter, and you know, and we're talking about all these other things that have nothing to do with the painting, and just kind of getting to know each other. So
that relationship is really important to you?
Yeah, it is, and it becomes fun. And you know, each mural, each location has a whole different story, and different people that you meet. You know, sometimes you'll meet like the plumber, you know, or you'll meet the electrician, you know. So yeah, it's fun. It is a collaboration. There'll be times when I'll paint and then they'll say, hey, I noticed this, like what do you plan on doing with that? What do you plan on doing with that? And then there are times when they say that, I have to step back and I'm like, you know, that's a good question.
Wow.
What am I going to do with that?
So these spectators kind of contribute to your process.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's fun. Reference to the eyeball. I used to play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons back in high school, and that was one of the monsters that you would fight in the game. It was called a beholder, and it was a giant eyeball, it was a giant floating eyeball monster that could shoot lasers and stuff out of his eyes.
That's pretty intense.
Yeah, so that's what the piece is kind of referencing. It goes back to like classical, just the basics.
The black and white. And did they tell you what they wanted, or did they just let you like just go to town?
This was a complete freestyle. They actually let me totally freestyle this.
Sweet, this is awesome.
Thank you.
So one thing that I really love about Norfolk is the Neon District. So can you please explain to us, like, what is the Neon District and how are you a part of that larger community?
The Neon District stands for the New Energy of Norfolk, and it's essentially an arts district. It's a hub of creativity in the city of Norfolk where different creatives can come together and share their work.
And that's kind of where we are right now, right?
Yeah, that's where we are right now.
And so how did you become a part of this community?
I did a mural 2015 December. I did my first mural, which we're about to see. I crowdfunded for it. Actually.
Oh wow!
Yeah, crowdfunded for the project, and that was my first foray into like large scale work.
That's so cool. Can you explain how you crowdfund it? What exactly do you mean by that?
So I used GoFundMe. And GoFundMe is, if anybody's ever heard of Kickstarter or anything like that, it's essentially the same thing. It's a platform where you can pitch an idea and basically have people donate to your cause.
Okay.
So I, put pictures up of the design, said, hey, this is what I want to paint. This is how much I want for it in order to make it happen, and then you just hope that they help you out.
So community members donated that money with no return on their investment other than having their community beautified.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Exactly.
So they liked your design that much that they were willing to kick in to make it happen.
Yeah, very cool.
That's really neat.
So this is the piece right here.
Oh, that's so cool. That you did for the Neon District?
Yep.
And what is it called?
This piece is called Glimpse.
Glimpse. So another eye reference.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about this piece?
Yeah, so this is actually a side profile of my daughter. Her name's Zen. She's 10 years old. She's this child that's augmented with this device that kind of resembles a mix between like a crown and a pair of headphones. The whole idea is that this device is allowing her to break the mold of normal reality and allow her to glimpse or get a glimpse of some distant part of the cosmos or whatever. So she's got this kind of like virtual heads-up display kind of coming around her eyes being generated from the headset, and it's allowing her to like gain all this information about the expanse.
Is that something that you hope for your daughter, that she'll be a good looker?
I just hope that she, is just has the thirst for knowledge.
Okay.
She always, trying to learn and get better at whatever it is. And this is kind of like a very optimistic view of like a technological future where we're using technology to increase our effectiveness as a civilization.
Make things better.
Yeah, make things better.
Yeah. And okay, so I see that you've used color really sparingly. So it's mostly black and white, but you have these little glimpses of yellow and the teal. Can you tell us about how you use that color to tell the story?
Yeah, so I wanted it to kind of give that impression of the cool, calculated, very logical nature of technology, but also have that little like pop of humanity in there, that warmth of humanity. And so the colors are just kind of used to accentuate and frame certain key parts of it. So I really wanted her headset to pop. I wanted it to be clear that she was using this device for something. She's interacting with it in some way. And so that's where the color was mainly used.
Has your daughter seen this piece? What does she think of it?
She loves it. Yeah. I got her made a print of it and I gave it to her, and so she has that.
That's awesome. I would feel so lucky if my dad painted this huge photo of me as basically Superwoman on the side of the building.
Yeah, I do kind of have that, like, I think it's cool that when kids in general have that like view of being like special and powerful, they can like change things, and they can have a lot of influence.
And your dad recognizes that in you, and so is the rest of the world.
Right.
That's so cool. So Khalil, I know a lot of the art that you do could be classified as like public art. So could you share with me maybe what's the difference between public art and something like this that most people would call graffiti?
Yeah, honestly, I personally don't really see a difference as far as if you're putting something up that's really cool and kind of contributes to the overall awesomeness of the community, then it's still public art. I think graffiti is kind of like a loaded concept. You know, people think graffiti is like vandalism, but I mean, regardless of whether somebody is commissioning you to do it, if you do something dope, you do something dope.
Yeah.
You know, if it's cool and it's not tacky and it looks good, and you know, people can walk by and say, "Yo, this is actually very cool."
But of course, with graffiti, there can be legal consequences. So what I teach my students is that the main difference is the permission. Do you have permission or not?
Yeah, and I think that's important too. You know, these guys have permission to do this stuff. You know, this is like their canvas.
Okay. So it's kind of like a graffiti, but
it's mixed. It's both. It's
public art.
It's still graffiti. They still have the freedom to be able to do what they want to do and kind of like go over each other's stuff, layer it up. Everybody's work kind of plays off of the person that did, you know, whatever they did before, and so now you have this really cool like symphony of graffiti art, but it's still public art.
Do you think that your work references traditional graffiti?
No, I wouldn't say that, but I would say that it serves the same purpose.
Okay.
You know, the whole point is to have people walk by and see something cool and have it, you know, spur some type of inner dialogue or conversation or flow of ideas or inspiration or dreams or whatever. You know, when I look at this stuff, I see really awesome colors. Like, this person had a message and they had something that they wanted to say.
The difference is this is in the alley, your space is
alley.
the street.
Right, yeah. So this, you know, so it's a fine line, I think. You know, something, I've actually had people, a class at OU did a discussion on glimpse, which is the piece of my daughter, and you know, some of the students in that class actually argued that that was graffiti. You know, that was, you know, you shouldn't do that, and you know, it's a form of vandalism or whatever. But I did have permission to do that, and it was something that, you know, when I did that, and I came back here and I looked at this stuff, I kind of felt like we were all in the same family. You know, we're all doing stuff publicly that people can walk by and see that can inspire them.
How did you go about getting permission for glimpse?
It was just a long process of emailing and waiting.
Bug.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So where do you create most of your art? Do you have like a really fancy studio set aside for this work, or do you work somewhere else?
I've never had a studio space. I've always worked out of my bedroom. Right now, I do a lot of my work at the Slover Library, located in downtown Norfolk. If anybody who has never been there, you need to go to the Slover. The Slover's awesome. They have a digital media lab, fully decked out with Wacom tablets. They have a video lab where you can do your own video production. They've got a video game lounge. You know, I mean, it's just, it makes the library cool again. You know, it really is something. I do a lot of work in the digital media lab there, and if I'm not there, I'm painting at home, or I'm drawing at home, or designing at home. You know, I think studio spaces are cool, but I don't think that anybody who doesn't have one should worry about not being able to, you know, produce.
So were all of those resources you're talking about at the Slover completely free?
Yeah, absolutely. All you need is a library card, and you can go to the Slover. They have a really well-trained staff that will teach you how to use the equipment. They'll teach you how to use the video. Actually, in order to use the video lab, you have to take like a 1-hour class. But they'll teach you all of that, and it's just a great place to be. You know, good place to work.
That's another amazing resource that the city of Norfolk has to offer. Thank you so much for bringing that to our attention. Well, thank you so much, Khalil, for taking the time to talk with us about your work and lending some insight into your process. It really has meant a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks
For having me.